Thank you as ever for your question. I'm committed to reducing congestion and its economic, environmental and health impacts. And I'm working hard to achieve this through investing in public transport, increasing active travel and improving the efficiency of the road network. We're taking action to make London's road network more efficient for all road users. The delivery of new bus lanes has increased significantly over the last 2 years, with more than 20 kilometres since April 2021 and 25 kilometres of new bus lanes by the end of the year. Roadworks also cause a considerable problem in an old city like ours. This leads to delays and congestion across the city, with more than 400,000 roadworks applications received each year across London. However, TfL's roadworks coordination team, working with utilities to time works, reduce their on-street footprint and minimise congestion, has removed on average 7,000 days of disruption from the capital's strategic roads. In addition, I've established the Infrastructure Coordination Service to reduce disruption on our roads by partnering with major utilities and other infrastructure providers to reduce disruption. This has delivered over £12.5 million in net benefits and reduced disruption by 1,329 days. After the success of the Red Route scheme, I'm pushing forward with expanding my pioneering lane rental scheme to London Borough roads. This will help reduce the impact of congestion caused by roadworks and help improve bus journey times. I've also invested in improving public transport and active travel. I opened the Northern Line extension in 2021 and Elizabeth Line in 2022 and introduced the Superloop in 2024. And I've delivered continued investment in cycling and walking infrastructure and have subsequently overseen a huge increase in the number of people walking and cycling. I'm also proud that the recent report on the ultra-low emission zone scrappage scheme has demonstrated that polluting vehicles have been removed from London's roads and that the scheme has supported an increase in active travel and a reduction in car ownership, which inevitably leads to less traffic and congestion. We should not forget that immediately following its introduction, the congestion charge reduced congestion by 30%, boosted bus travel in central London by 33% and enabled 10% of journeys to switch to walking, cycling and public transport. TfL is currently consulting on proposals to ensure this scheme continues to manage traffic effectively and help achieve my vision for a cleaner, greener London.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Back in 2018, this Assembly signed off the addendum to your transport strategy in which you outlined a goal of 27% traffic reduction by 2030. So that was from 2018 to 2030. The addendum said there's more to be done, including taking action to reduce car vehicle kilometres travelled on London's roads by 27% by 2030. So you've given me a list of really good things that you're doing, but are you confident that the measures that you've outlined are going to help you meet that 27% traffic reduction by 2030?
I think a big game changer was the pandemic. People understandably got nervous using public transport for reasons that the member will be well aware. And so you saw car usage go up during and post-pandemic. So we're now seeing a reversion to the rates pre-pandemic of public transport, but we need to build on that. And that's why the business plan I referred to and asked Member Baker is so important, because if the quality of public transport ain't great, if you're waiting long for a bus, if the bus is unreliable, if you don't feel safe cycling, you're less likely to move to active travel. And that's why it's really important we have a good business plan that supports our mission.
That's all good, but I've been looking at the data, and while central London is inside the congestion zone, has been seeing a really decent reduction since 2018, the rest of London is still off track to see the extent of the reductions that your transport strategy needs to achieve. So do you agree that the data is showing that you're not on track yet to get to that 27% reduction in car vehicle kilometres by 2030?
No, on the trajectory since the pandemic, we're not on track. But I'm confident with a good business plan and with the cooperation of councils, we can get back on track. Central London, for example, has more than 70 train stations, more than 700 bus routes going in and around there. We've got to make sure that other parts of London have good public transport. That's why the Superloop is really important.
So I just want to dig into this a little bit further, because in a recent written question, you described the 27% reduction in car kilometres by 2030 as an illustrative scenario. So that just makes me a bit anxious that you're maybe not going to want to try and stick to that target. Can you confirm that your aim is still to achieve that target?
It is, yeah. And the business plan will be a really important piece of reassurance or not in relation to our ability to get there.
Okay, thank you. It's really, I mean, this is incredibly important. It's not just about data and targets, as you've set out in your answer. It's about London-wide action to give Londoners safe, convenient alternatives to using a car. So thank you for that. Bye.